Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms coming to you live from, God, here we go again, Wilderness Lakes in, jeepers, where am I? Menifee, California. Jeepers, brain fried today. This is my second live for today. If you didn't catch the first one, you got to go watch that. Made this amazing dinner tonight. The cooking of it didn't go as expected, but the results were spectacular. They tasted really good anyway. So I got asked I've got 3 questions that came through for the travel questions. So we're going to do our best to answer them. So this could be a bit of a long one. Maybe I'll do a part 3 on this one. I don't know. We'll see how we go. But anyway, so Brenda, Sharon, and Diane all wanted to know about staying healthy when you're traveling. One of them was asking about sanitation on cruise ships. Another one was asking about the norovirus. Another one was just saying, when you just do general travel, how do you stay healthy? So one of that was the other thing I forgot to get. We're going for a walk while we talk. I gotta go get me my show and tell for today. So the other one, so let's start with sanitation. Sanitation is, where is it? I've lost it. Darn it. I don't have any left. Oh my gosh, I've got to order some more. So, staying healthy, sanitation, always make sure that you wash your hands after you've been to the bathroom using soap and hot water preferably, and before you go and eat. And if you're on a cruise ship, make sure you use the sanitizer as you're walking into the dining rooms and all of that sort of stuff. If you're a little suspect on some of the people handling the tongs and things, just get a napkin and use that to hang on to the tongs so you're not... I've been known to grab a napkin and just wrap it around the tongs. I've been using them if I've been suspect about some of the people that are walking ahead of me. So there's that option as well. But here's the thing. So that's the sanitation. The other thing is that staying hydrated. Hydrated's a big thing, and people go, "Oh, but that means I got to buy water when I'm on the cruise ship and all that." No, don't get sucked into the water program when you're on a cruise ship. Yes, you can buy a bottle of water to take off the cruise ship when you go into a port. But when you're actually on a cruise ship, because there is a lot of talk about digestive issues on cruise ships and all of that sort of stuff, and we will get to that, I take a water bottle with me and I just fill it up out of the tap in my bathroom, fill it up at the water fountains. They've got the machines in the buffet area where they've got the water there as well, and I just fill up from those and drink it, and it's not a problem. The water has been filtered a lot because they are concerned about health issues and things getting transmitted and that, so they make sure they filter the water so the water is drinkable. If it is not drinkable, there will be a little notice above the faucet saying don't drink. So don't get sucked into the water program where you have to buy the 12, 24 cases of water or whatever. If you happen to have a drinks package that includes bottled water, then yeah, that's fine. But don't specifically go out of your way to buy the bottled water, because the water on the ship is safe to drink, even when you get the glass of water at your table at dinner and all that sort of stuff as well. That's one thing, is stay hydrated, especially if you like your sugar drinks and your alcohol. Definitely make sure, and your coffee and those caffeine drinks, definitely make sure that you drink plenty of water, because those things can actually dehydrate you. Did you know that caffeine is a diuretic? I found that one out years ago, so I watch my caffeine intake very carefully. And they say for every ounce of caffeine you drink, you should drink 2 ounces of water to counteract the diuretic effects of the caffeine. So I'm sort of like, okay, then I will minimize my caffeine intake greatly. The other way you can stay healthy is by if you take supplements and stuff. Whenever I travel, I grab these little things here. It's the Innovative Complete. It's a liquid vitamin, and I used to do a lot of study on vitamins and all of that over the years, but I've kind of forgotten a lot of it. All I know is that liquid vitamin is the best way to get the absorption of the nutrients out of the vitamins. And these come in little single-use packs. And yes, the first time I tasted one of these, it was at room temperature, and I had apparently quite a lot of facial reactions to it. A lot of body shuddering and that sort of stuff. But now I will have them no problem at all. I prefer them cold, but if I have to have them at room temperature, I will. So that's my daily liquid supplement. Then I also take biotics. Now this is pre and pro, and apparently you need both. And apparently 70% of your immune system comes from your gut. So you have to have a healthy gut to stay healthy, to help you stay healthy. So I don't know exactly what biotics do. I just take them because they work and they help. I used to have a lot of problems with, what was it? I was diagnosed with mild gastritis. I'm not exactly sure what that is. All I know it's something in the stomach that caused a lot of stomach acid. These helped immensely. Yes. And this has also helped me because for several years after Brad's first round with cancer and stuff, and I started having reaction to dairy and nuts, and onions being the biggest one. I still have the reaction to onions, but dairy and nuts, because I am taking these, my system is now able to process the dairy and the nuts that I don't get the allergic reactions that I had before, which is really cool. So those are my two. And then I also have, and I can't find it because I think I'm out of it, is, what's that called? It's the sleep stuff. It's a powder drink. It's like a lemon. It's a really cool lemon drink, and you have it warm, and it's really yummy, and it just helps you go to sleep. Because another thing that you need when you're traveling is lots of rest, because it helps your immune system if you get lots of rest. So that's that portion of it. I've got to check my notes here. Okay, so the norovirus thing. This one, it really annoys the crap out of me when people talk about it, especially when it comes to cruise ships. It's sort of like, people, wake up. Okay, you're getting a dose of reality here on the norovirus. Did you know that the norovirus takes 24 to 48 hours to incubate? This is according to the CDC website. It takes 24 to 48 hours to incubate. So if you have come in contact with it before you get on the ship, and you get it when you're on the ship, they still have to report that. So the ships have to report. Did you know that 1 in 15 people on land get infected with the norovirus every year? 1 in 15. That's, in the US, that's 20 million people a year get infected with the norovirus. On a cruise ship, it is 1 in 5,500 people. 1 in 5,500 people. On a couple of the cruise ships, that's the entire cruise ship. You know? So that's a lot less people. The CDC said that in the reported cases of the norovirus, less than 1% occur on a cruise ship. Yet that is the only one that we happen to hear about on the media and everything else. So you're hearing it here. It is my as a travel professional, I'm educating you. That is your risk. 1 in 5,500 people chance of getting the norovirus on a cruise ship. School and daycare, 6%. Restaurants, 22%. Healthcare facility, 62%. You don't hear about schools, you don't hear about restaurants, and you don't hear about healthcare facilities having norovirus outbreaks. But a cruise ship, which has less than a 1% of all the reported cases, gets splashed all over the news. Enough of this crap. Seriously. It's just it upsets me when people go, but I don't want to get the norovirus. You have a 1 in 5,500 chance of getting it. You've got more of a chance getting it in a daycare than you do on a cruise ship. So how do we avoid it? We drink plenty of water. We make sure we wash our hands after we've been to the bathroom. We make sure we wash our hands clean our hands before we eat. If you see anybody throwing up or vomiting, just avoid them. I got caught out one time on a cruise. This woman should not have been on the cruise ship at all. She should not have been on the cruise ship. When we went to Europe, we were going to Europe to do a river cruise. This was back in December of 2011. And so, and we were going to be boarding the cruise on my 45th birthday. And, which was kind of cool because I had the option of either doing my birthday or the following week. And so I decided to do my birthday because I figured it's my birthday. Why not? And so we arrived in Prague on 2 days before my birthday because we're having 2 nights in Prague before we got on the cruise ship. When we got to the airport, we found the cruise line representative. They directed us to the bus to get on there. So Brad and I are sitting on there, and then this woman comes on with her elderly mother. Her mother was trying to remember, she was either 89, she was either in her late 80s or early 90s. But she was a hoot. And then as we're driving to the hotel, this young girl is telling us about how She wasn't sure if she was going to be making the cruise because she had been so sick and everything else. She hadn't even started eating. She'd been having all these stomach issues and diarrhea and everything else. And I'm sitting there looking at Brad and going, then what the hell is she doing here? And they were on the cruise ship. Half the cruise ship, and we're on a river cruise, there was 130 passengers plus the crew, half the cruise ship, and we're talking the whole, everybody on board, so crew and passengers, half of them came down with this 24-hour stomach virus that she brought on the ship with her. We were not impressed. I was not impressed. I missed Ravensburg, which was one place I really, really wanted to see, and I also missed Passau, which was another place I really wanted to see as well. And I missed, what was the other one? Milk. Yeah, I sent Brad off the cruise ship to go get me my postcards and my fridge magnets. And two other couples that we had met on our very first night on the cruise, we were sitting having dinner with them, and that was, of course, my birthday, and I knew something was going to happen. I didn't know when or what, but it turned out that one of the ladies that was sitting with us, and she was sitting directly opposite me, it was her 60th birthday and my 45th on the same day, which was really, really cool. And afterwards, the cruise manager's telling us that the maitre d' wanted to know where the birthday girls were sitting for today, and she said, "You're not going to believe this, they're at the same table." So, but we became good friends with them, with Mo and Hank and Sue and Kurt, and then the other two guys came down with the stomach flu as well. So where the day we were in Milk, Mo and Sue took Brad under their wing, and they all went off into Milk together, the three of them, and then they helped him choose my fridge magnet and my postcard from Milk because I wasn't well enough to get off the ship that day. I was taking an extra day of rest. So so staying healthy. If you are sick, this is another reason why you get travel protection as well. So if anything happens that prevents you from going, then you recoup your cost and everything as well, and it covers illnesses. If you get sick before you leave and you can't travel because you're sick, you're covered with most of the time you're covered with travel protection, which is why when you're doing your travel protection, ask for the brochures, ask questions about it. Your travel professionals are not insurance people, but they do have the documentation there. There is numbers that they can give you that you can call to ask clarifying questions and that sort of stuff as well. But make sure you know what's in the documentation, because I know there are some travel protection plans out there that don't cover pre-existing conditions, or if you get sick just before you get on the cruise ship, they may not cover you, that sort of stuff. So check for that sort of thing. What else have I got on here? So that's my thing on that. The other thing is just make sure you stay active. When I'm on a cruise ship, there is so much good food. I mean, if you've been on a cruise ship, you know that there's a lot of food, and people tend to overeat when they're on a cruise ship. Here's another startling fact for you. Did you know that the average person on a cruise ship puts on 1 to 2 pounds per day? The average person on a cruise ship puts on 1 to 2 pounds per day. So if you think of a 7-night cruise, that's 7 to 14 pounds that you put on, because there is just so much good food available, and people go a little overboard when they're on cruises and stuff. Be a little sensible about it. My thing is that I will go up and walk some laps around the walking trails that are up top. Most cruise lines have an area where you can actually do laps, walk laps. If they don't, I go get on the machine and the treadmill. Jeepers. I get on the treadmill and we'll walk on that. The other thing I do too is if I am going, I take stairs. If I am going up any more than 3 decks, I will walk up 3 flights of stairs. But if I'm going 4, I will think about it, and depending on how I'm feeling, I might go up 4, or I might go and catch the elevator. But anything more than 4, I definitely catch the elevator for, because I don't want to get winded by the time I get to wherever I'm going, especially if it's to dinner. And then coming back, I'll quite happily walk downstairs, although I tend to get a little dizzy because I stay like on one side and just, you're going round and round and round and round. So I have to remember to take it a little easy. But, that's my thing. And I now very rarely, if ever, put any weight on when I'm on a cruise ship. In fact, I leave some on the ship when I get off. I release it. It goes. It's gone. I don't need it anymore. And speaking of weight, if you are trying to get rid of excess weight, change the language a little bit. Instead of losing weight, release the weight. Because when you lose something, your subconscious kicks into gear and goes, "Oh, we've lost something. We need to find it." And so what do? You start finding it. And this is why a lot of people have that yo-yo dieting thing. But now that I've switched my language and I'm talking about releasing the weight and even going a step further, I'm saying I am done borrowing my excess weight. I'm now releasing it into the universe for somebody who needs to put it on. Because we all know there's people out there, out there that have to put weight on for the good of their health. So I am releasing my excess weight into the universe for somebody who needs it. Because the universe has checks and balances, like accounting. For every debit, there's always a credit. So that's the way I think. And that's working quite well. So let's see. We've covered sanitation, covered the norovirus, covered just keeping your normal routines. If you do exercise at home, take an exercise plan with you that you can do when you're on vacation. Most hotels have exercise room, fitness centers. Most cruise ships have fitness centers as well. I was on one cruise when I was in the middle of I was doing a lot of workouts and stuff, and I would get up at my normal time, go up to the fitness center. There would be nobody up there. It was awesome. I could get up there, I could get my workout done, and just as I was finishing my workout and getting ready to leave, people were starting to come in. So I was like, yes, I'm done, and there was nobody that could watch me. Yay! So keep to your normal exercise routines as well. Just because you're on vacation is not an excuse to not do them. And when you're out exploring, get out there and just walk. It's great exercise for you. So that's kind of some tips on staying healthy when you're traveling. The other thing that I use too is my no jet lag. Oh, that's what I forgot. The other one I forgot to bring in is my no jet lag. I have never had a problem with that product with jet lag. I will be using it this week when I fly down to New Zealand. I take it one lozenge 30 minutes before takeoff, one every 2 to 4 hours in flight, 30 minutes after I land, and I have yet to have a problem with jet lag taking the no jet lag. It's a homeopathic remedy. It's really simple to take, and then I take it on the way back as well, and I never have an issue. I get to New Zealand, like my flight gets into New Zealand, I think it gets in like around 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, but then my connecting flight to Wellington, actually might get in earlier than because I think I have an hour and a half to 2 hours in Auckland, but because I think I get into Wellington around 8. So either 8 or 9 I get into Wellington and in the morning, and my parents will pick me up. We'll go back to their place. I'll have a shower. I'll get changed into fresh, clean clothes, and that's it. I'm ready to go for the day. I don't need to go take a nap. I get into my routine as quickly as possible. Here's another little tip for you. Currently, New Zealand is 19 hours ahead of us. So to work out the time, subtract 5 and make it tomorrow. That's the easiest way to do it. And there are times of the year, like at Christmas time when I flew down there, that they were 21 hours ahead of us. So I only had to subtract 3 and make it tomorrow. So it's kind of like doing an East Coast, West Coast flight on the time difference. Even though they were 21 hours ahead, it didn't matter. So kind of look at stuff like that too when you're figuring out the time differences and stuff. What's the quickest and easiest way to calculate? So as soon as I get to my thing, I'm into my routine. When I flew back from Christmas, I had my car parked in LA. I had to go pick up my car, and then I had to drive all the way down to San Diego home, and it was 2 hours. So I stopped somewhere on the way, grabbed some food, and then just kept going through, and I was home just under 2 hours from when I left. Didn't feel tired at all. The first thing I did when I walked in the house, pull all my bags inside, shut the door, locked it, and went and got straight into the shower. Had a shower, put on some fresh clothes, got everything unpacked. I didn't have to do my laundry because my mother had kindly done it all for me before I left New Zealand, so that was really sweet of her. But I was back into that routine and never had a problem with jet lag either. So there are ways to combat it. And if you've seen the movie Die Hard, when Bruce Willis gets to his wife's office in LA and somebody tells him to take your shoes and socks off and just scrunch your toes in the carpet, that really does work. It's not just a movie thing. It does actually work. And I do that as well because it helps connect you back with the ground again. It's all something to do with the frequencies and like reflexology or something like that I don't fully understand. I just know it works. So if you are interested in finding out more about staying healthy, drop me a private message. If you want to know about any of the supplements and stuff that I use when I use daily or that I use when I'm traveling, drop me a private message and we will get you some more information on all of that. And thank you to Brenda, Sharon, and Diane. Hope that answered your question on staying healthy while traveling and covered your questions on sanitation and norovirus and just general health. So until tomorrow, what's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Wednesday. Yes, it's Wednesday tomorrow. Yay! Have a super fantastic, sparkling day, and we'll catch you all tomorrow.